What is going on, guys? It is your boy Chili. I hope you guys have enjoyed your weekend. It is Sunday evening and I'm uploading this right before I go out to eat, kind of like a little date night with my girlfriend. But today's topic that I wanted to discuss is something that I've discussed in the past, and it's going to piss off some people, it's going to annoy others, but then others are going to feel very passionate about it, and that is vault space. And at this point, January 29th, 2017, we just received news of a spring update. There is going to be no Crimson Doubles, I believe, and a couple other things. And overall, my main concern with vault space now isn't so much, the age-old, we need more vault space, but there's a current theme that's been going on since the April update. You can see my big-ass dog right there that just got down. There's been a current theme that's been going on since the April update, the year 2 with the Taken King, and that was when we were introduced to DLC armor with Sterling Treasures, and you got the Chroma armor, and then you got the Taken armor. And for someone who has one of each character and who was lucky enough to land a lot of that gear, such as myself, it became a big dilemma because each character now had 2 new armor sets that were completely out of nowhere. Now, immediately people are going to say, well, you're not required to have that armor, and you're absolutely right. You're not required to have any armor in the game. You can have 1 set of armor, you can have a couple sets of armor. You don't have to fill up your vault. But if you do a lot of the in-game activities, right, so trials, Iron Banner, the Nightfall now with that golden armor, and strike specific loot, and the raid, and so on and so forth, you will build up a lot of individual unique armor pieces for each character, so much so that it ends up taking up your vault space. Now, in year 2, we were introduced to this idea of kiosks, and very recently we were actually introduced to the idea of holiday kiosks, where they took all the SRL gear and all the Festival of the Lost masks, and instead of outright increasing the vault space, which I'm okay with also, but then many people complain because the two sides of this argument are, you have too much stuff, you need to trim the fat out of your vault, you have a lot of unnecessary weapons, which at the end of the day is absolutely true to a certain extent. I have all the Queen's Guard armor for my characters ever since they recently released the new daily Queen's Guard bounties. I also have the Queen's Guard weapons that came out with the Taken King. I like keeping those because in my opinion they're very cool and they're not something that everyone can just acquire now. Hence why I go after those. I mean, raid and trials, that's self-explanatory gear. That's gear that it's really hard to get that's in-game or in-game loot table type stuff, and it's really unique to have that. And then strike specific loot. Before we had skeleton keys, it was really rare to get some of that stuff. So the point being is that if you really participated in Iron Banner, and unlocked all the weapons and unlocked all the armors, and you had 3 of every character, the bare minimum is your vault should be fairly full. And then they introduced essentially DLC microtransaction armors, and you have the 2 Chroma armor sets, and I'm spacing their names right now, but one came out with the April update along with the Taken armor, and then the more recent one came out with the Dawning and that armor, and they're all cool armor pieces. I think that it's definitely worth acknowledging that it's something that you don't necessarily have to have, but it's actually fun to unlock those, especially if you're not someone who pays every week, or if you're not someone who's paid and you participate every week and you get the Sterling Treasures and you get the Radiant Treasures, and then you get the Festival of the Dawn packages, and when you slowly unlock that armor, you want to be able to use it without having to feel like you have to give something up. Now, getting back to my point about the holiday kiosk, I would at the very least propose that if vault space wasn't increased, instead of actually worrying about increasing vault space, you add that DLC gear that you've unlocked to the kiosk, and at the very bare minimum it acts as kind of an exotic kiosk where you're able to delete that gear and know that you can re-unlock it again. And the reason I'm in favor of that is for the people like myself who have gone out and purchased that and paid extra money to have that stuff. I feel like it's important to be able to say, you know what, you should be able to keep that, and we're not going to punish you for purchasing that, and we're not going to hinder the people that don't purchase that, so place it in the kiosk. They did this with the SRL gear, they did this with the Festival of the Lost helmets. Both of those were things that I had complained about, or not really complained about, but critiqued at one point in time, because I said, look, this should not be taking up vault space, they should create a kiosk for this, and they did. So, maybe they add this to the kiosk, I don't know for sure. You guys let me know your comments down below. But for me personally, and I love playing Destiny, you guys can look, I have hundreds of days played on Destiny. A shitload of time over the last 2.5, 3 years. And one of the things that I would really like to see is for them to make the game, my dog needs to go out, but for them to make the game enjoyable. And it's not that it's not enjoyable, but the hassle of having to go to your postmaster, or not to your postmaster, but to your vault rather, and take a bunch of stuff off and place it into your vault just so you can run a few strikes and not have your postmaster over flooded with gear. And that's something that no one should go through. It's the process that comes about with everything, and that's okay. But me personally, I would really like to see them try to do something with the DLC armor in particular. They haven't done any weapons that are DLC. You get some of the ornaments, but you can purchase those now with Silver Dust. They've clearly made a lot of improvements from year 1 to year 2, and from year 2 to year 3. But there's always room for improvement, and I think that this would be something that would help assure the people who have purchased this DLC gear, who have slowly unlocked it over time, that hey, don't worry about deleting this, because you'll be able to get it back, and you won't have to worry about it. And to be completely fair, it's no different than the SRL stuff. It's stuff that came out, and it's stuff that should be able to be put in the kiosk, or at the end of the day, just do the simple thing that everybody wants: increase more vault space. But that doesn't always fix things, because they release new armor, they release new weapons, and your vault does eventually fill up again. So it is a system that unfortunately will always have its flaws unless they do something completely crazy. Maybe not even an infinite vault. I don't even know how you would do that, but rather do something where it's a lot easier to itemize weapons. There's certainly a lot of room for discussion on this, and to some people this is very annoying because they don't have a need for more vault space. But as someone who likes to collect as much stuff, and as someone who prides themselves on being able to play everything and not just play Crucible or not just play PvE, but play everything, it would be nice to know that I would be compensated in the fact that I don't have to worry about picking and choosing stuff. I can actually, in a way, show off and say, look at all the armor and weapons that I have from playing your game as much as I have. But anyways, sorry if this bothers some people. I hope this idea helps, or at least alleviate some of the pressure that some people are feeling, because me personally, it's hard to want to get on and play a couple hours of strikes if I know that my postmaster is immediately going to be filled up, and that's going to be a whole hassle in itself. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your evening. I hope you guys had a wonderful weekend. I'm going to try to upload maybe Tuesday, if not Wednesday or Thursday. It might be a long week because I have a pretty busy school schedule. But other than that, guys, leave a like down below if you guys enjoyed the video. Check out the channel if you guys are new. I just do a lot of random Destiny stuff. Videos aren't the best quality, but that's just because it's on PlayStation 4. So anyways, guys, I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. Remember to stay focused, stay humble, stay driven, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.